Some of you may not know that I used to be a smoker, as my phone dings in the background. I used to be a smoker. I quit cold turkey 7 years ago and haven't looked back since, and I'm going to share with you how I did it in hopes that it will help you. I want you to know that I'm not trying to sell you anything. There is no gimmick to this whatsoever. There's nothing for you to buy. All this is a video for you to watch, okay? So in order for you to quit smoking, or any other habit for that matter, you have to change the way you look at the habit. That's what I did. I flipped my way of thinking about it, okay? So we all know that it's bad for you and it can cause cancer. The secondhand smoke is bad, and all that stuff aside, here's how I did it, okay? I don't use scare tactics because that doesn't work with people, because yeah, it's killing you slowly, but it's not going to kill you probably tomorrow, right? It's not going to kill you the next day, but it is going to inhibit your health, and it's going to kill you eventually. So here's how I quit smoking by changing my way of thinking about it. First of all, I realized that as a smoker, when I quit smoking and all the other people went outside for a smoke break, I used to envy those people, thinking, oh, they're having a smoke and I wish I could be out there having a smoke with them. But I flipped the way of thinking on that, and I realized that those people out there smoking were envious of me because I was quitting smoking, and every smoker deep down wants to quit. They know it's bad for them. We're all educated on it. And they all want to quit. They just don't know the steps. So that was important for me too, to think, that group of people out there smoking, I don't envy them. They envy me. They wish they were quitting, but they're not at the point yet where they can do it. So that was number one. Number two, I realized that when I got up in the morning, nobody had a gun to my head saying, here, go poison yourself with this toxic stick. Go breathe this smoke in all day. No one was forcing me to do that. It was me doing it to myself. So I then realized that if I was doing it to myself, then I had the power to not do it to myself. It's a simple thing, but we act like we're the victim of this thing that totally controls us, but it's just not true. We are doing it to ourselves. I also read a book called Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking. Now, Alan Carr was a man who smoked something like 75 to 100 cigarettes a day for like 60 years, and then he quit cold turkey. And he wrote a book about it, saying a lot of these things that I'm saying to you today. So that book really helped me flip my perspective on smoking. So another thing that I did that helped me was I quit smoking. So when you quit a habit or an addiction, there's a little bit of a void left there. People will say they don't know what to do with their hands when they're driving and things like that. What I did was I replaced smoking with a healthy habit, jogging. So I quit smoking literally that day, went out, I didn't have much money, I bought an iPod on a credit card, and I started running, and I ran a block, and I almost died. It's funny now, but I was sick, it was spinning, I was nauseous. That's how bad a shape I was in. I couldn't even walk or jog a block. Think about it. But I was determined. So the next day I went out and I ran 2 blocks. I was sick, I was almost puking, but I ran more. The next day I ran 3 blocks and 4 blocks. Pretty soon I was up to 2.5 kilometers. I ran all the way to Courtenay, which is the edge of town in my home city of Regina. And I got there, so that was like 2.5 kilometers, and then one day I just said, I'm going to double it. And I went there and I went back. In one day, I doubled how far I could run just by using my mind, because, we get tired and we think we have to stop, but if you push through that, it's amazing how far you can go. So then I set a new standard of I could run 5K. So what I'm saying is, I'm an addictive person by nature, so I know what a lot of you are going through, whether it's smoking or something else. And what worked for me is trading a bad addiction for a healthy addiction, okay? Quit smoking, but replace it with something else. Maybe it's playing a game, or maybe it's drawing, or maybe it's writing music, whatever it is, doing crafts, hobbies, building things out of wood, whatever it is, fill your time, occupy your time. There really isn't much of a physical withdrawal from cigarettes. Honestly, it's not. Like, I just did it and that was it. You know, over the few months, I coughed up a lot of phlegm and stuff as my body was cleansing, and now it's been 7 years and I feel great. I am in better shape now than I was when I was a teenager, without a doubt. You are in control of what you do. It's as simple as that. But if in your mind you're saying, oh, it controls me, and I have to smoke, I did it yesterday, I can have another one, you're thinking those thoughts, of course you're just going to do it. Stand up to yourself in your own mind and say, no, enough's enough, and I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not poisoning myself. No one else is going to do it for you. You can buy all the nicotine patches and stuff in the world, but trust me, you don't need that. Alan Carr smoked for 60 years, and he quit cold turkey. Change the way you think, keep your mind busy, and once you go a couple days without smoking, so you have to do it in steps, so you're going to go 1 day, right? You got to get to 1 day, you got to get to 24 hours, and you're going to say, wow, I just did a day. Yes, okay, I'm going to do 2 days. You get to 2 days, you're like, you can be proud of that. 2 days, no smoking. 3 days, 4 days, 5, and it's like, how far can I push this, man? I'm gonna do what they say I can't, because I am a beast like that. They can doubt me all they want, but I'm gonna let my actions speak, because I'm in control and I'm gonna do this. I'm out to prove everybody wrong. It doesn't matter how many times you failed in the past. This is the time where you make it happen. Now you've gone 2 weeks, and you're like, I've gone 2 weeks, and now you've got a month. Right? And then a couple months, then you want to get to a year, and it's great. You want to see how far you could go, and then sooner than later, you're like, how did I ever smoke? Like, that's what I think to myself. I see people smoking, and I'm like, how did I ever do that? I cannot believe that I did that, but it was a habit at the time, you know, that I just did over and over and over. But you got to break that repetition and change the way you think about it. When you look back on that, you're going to say, wow, I can't believe I ever did that. But it starts today. Your journey can start today. You can do this. I did it. I'm telling you how I did it. If you're quitting today, put it in the comments. Let's all encourage each other. I want to see how many people can quit from this video. Again, there's no money, there's no nothing that I want from anybody. I just want to share with you how I did it, because I want you to do it too. I want you to live a long life. I don't know how old you are or where you're at in your life. You know, are you just a teenager? Are you in your 20s? Do you have little kids? You know, like, you're going outside to smoke when it's freezing outside and stuff like that. Like, it's annoying. Like, it's kind of like a handicap, smoking, to be honest. Like, it's this thing that controls you, and you got to go do it all the time. There's so many other things you could do other than poisoning yourself, you know what I mean? And that's not a judgment thing. I'm not saying, oh, if you smoke, you're gross or anything like that. I'm not saying that, because I smoked. And I know what it's like. Millions of people can tell you to quit, but if they don't get inside your head in the proper way and help you make the decision, then you're not gonna, okay? But from what I've told you, I think you've already flipped the way you think about it. You realize how powerful you are. Enough's enough. You don't need the patch. You don't need all these things. You don't need all these gimmicks. You don't even need any money. In fact, you're gonna save money. Show the naysayers that you can do it. Prove them wrong, your friends that say, oh, you can't. And another thing I want to mention, see, I just freestyle this stuff. I'm just talking. I'm not reading off of a script or a teleprompter or anything like that. I just talk. So I know one thing, that with me, I had to quit drinking for a while. Okay? I had to quit drinking because, you know, when people drink, they smoke. They quit, and then they go drink, and they smoke, because they're drinking and they don't care anymore. So you have to be conscious of that and eliminate that problem before it becomes a problem for you, okay? So what I had to do, I quit drinking for 6 months, no alcohol, because I knew that if I drank, I would smoke. So I had to eliminate one habit to eliminate the other. I don't drink now. I quit drinking entirely 2 years ago. Like, there's no room for it in my life. But I'm saying at the time when I quit smoking, I had to quit drinking for 6 months too. So after I had quit smoking, then for 6 months, then I said, okay, I trust myself now enough where I can start having a couple of beers, and I know that I'm not going to smoke, and I could do it. I could go out drinking and I wouldn't smoke anymore. So, and then I eventually eliminated the alcohol habit entirely too. So the bottom line is, you're in control. You can do this. Post in the comments if you're going to quit smoking and you're going to start today. Post it in the comments, and let's encourage each other. I believe in all of you. Uncle Adams signing off.